Okay, the last section in our review chapter is about decimals and percents. So let's check the first objective, writing decimals as fractions. So let's check some example. If we want to write these decimals to fractions, what should we do? The first number is 0.37. So first, we know we have 37, so that's our numerator. So we put 37 here. And what's our denominator? First, we should put a 1 here. Then, when we go back to check the decimal, we realize we have 2 decimal places. So we will put 2 0 after 1 will be 100. Okay, 2 decimal places, 2 zeros in our denominator after 1. So similarly, if it's 1.3, so we put 1 3 to be our numerator, and we first put 1, and it's just 1 decimal place, so that will be 1 0 after 1. It will be 10, so it's 13 over 10. Similarly, the last one, 2.649. So what is our numerator first? That will be the number 2649. Okay, after that, we should list our numerator. First, we put 1 here. Then count how many decimal places do we have in this decimal. It's 1, 2, 3. 3 decimal places, which means we will add 3 0 to the denominator. Okay, so we can check another one. For example, we give another example. So if we have 0.27, 5.1, and we want to write decimal as a fraction, what should we do? The first one, what's our numerator here? It's 27, so we just put 27. Now we should figure out what's the denominator. First, we just write our 1 here. Then check how many zeros should we add after the 1. Then we check how many decimal places in this decimal. That's 2, so we add 2 0. 5.1. First, we write 5 1 as our numerator. Then we still first write down a 1 in our denominator. Then we make sure how many zeros should we add. And 5.1, just 1 decimal places, so we add 1 0. That will be 51 over 10. The last one, 7.685 equals, it's easy, right? We still put 7,685 to be our numerator. So for denominator, we put 1 first, then we go back to check how many decimal places in our decimal. That's 1, 2, 3, 3 decimal places, which means 3 0 after 1. We add 3 0, so the answer will be this number. Okay, so let's check the objective B. This time we want to do the operations with decimals. Operations. Okay. Operations with decimals. Let's talk about addition and subtraction first. So let's check example. If we want to do the addition with decimal, what should we, oh, it will be. Okay, let's check this one. We use the vertical form to do it. 5.87 plus 23.279 plus 0.003. Make sure you know the decimal point should in the same line. Okay, that's the most important part. You should put your decimal points in the same line. Okay, then the remaining thing is just as you do the addition in the whole number, right? So if here there's empty, we can put the 0. Then we just do the addition here. 9 plus 3 equals 2. And here we have 7 plus 7 and the 1. So that will be 5. Add 1. So that will be 11. So 5, 3, 9, and 2. But don't forget, you should put the decimal point here. So the most important part is the decimal point should line up vertically. Okay, after that, the remaining part is just the same rule as the addition rule in the whole number. Okay, let's check another one. So we can write the answer here. Yes. Okay, let's try to do another one. 7 plus let's do this together. We still use the vertical to do it. So if it's the whole number, then we know we can automatically plus a decimal point after it. So 7 is just 7.0, so we can just write 7 point. And the second number is 0.23. Make sure you line up the decimal point. Of course, you can put your decimal point first. Then let's do the remaining part. So the here is just 3, 8, 7. So 7.83 is our answer. Okay, let's check another example for the subtraction. Subtraction is very similar as the addition. We still need to line up the decimal point. Okay, we still need to line up the decimal point. It's the most important part. Of course, you can put your decimal point first in your answer. Then the remaining step is just the same rule as we do the subtraction on the whole number. And if here it's empty, we can add a 0 here. So for this part, we can treat it as 10, so that's 3. And this will be 4, right? it will be 4. So 4 minus 3 will be 1. And this time it will be 11 minus 2. It's 9. And the 1 minus 1 is 0. And it's 2. So our answer is 20.913. Let's try another one. So again, this time we have a whole number. Don't forget you can put it like this way. 70, you can write it as 70.0 if you want. Minus 0.48. But you still make sure you line up your decimal point. Of course, the decimal point will be at the same position in your answer. So add a 0, we will get 2, because it's 10 minus 8, it's 2, and here will be 9. 9 minus 4 equals 5, and here will be 9, and here will be 6. Okay, the remaining rule is just the same rule as the whole number subtraction. So the answer will be this one. Okay, so now let's talk about the multiplication. Let's do the multiplication part. Let's check the example. 0.072 times 3.5. So we can write it into the vertical. It's not like the addition or subtraction. This time, we do not line up the decimal point. Okay, we just write like it's the whole number. Line up the right side number. So here, we just treat these decimals as whole number. Then we do the multiplication. So for the first number, 5, we will get this. Then we do the second one. 6, 21. So first, we just treat the decimals as whole number. It's just like 72 times 3, 5. So, but the last step is not the same. We cannot just stop here because we treat them as a whole number, but they actually are decimals. So the last step, we should count how many decimal places do they have. So for the first decimal, 1, 2, 3, 3 decimal places. Okay, and for the 3 decimal places. And for this one, 1 decimal places. So add them together, we have 4 decimal places. Okay, so which means we should move our decimal point to the left 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be the final position of our decimal point. So our final answer is 0.252. Okay. All right, let's check another one. 0.17 times 0.02. Remember, the first step, we write the vertical form, but we treat the decimals as whole numbers. it will be like 17 times 2. So we can easily get the answer 34. But don't just stop here. It's decimal multiplication. So we count how many decimal places do we have. For the first one, have 2. For the second one, also 2. So total will be 4, right? So which means for the whole number, the decimal point is here. 4 decimal places, which means we need to move our decimal point to left 4 times. So will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to add 2 0 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that will be the final position. We should add one more. So that will be our final answer. Zero point 0.00434. Okay. All right, let's check the division. After multiplication, let's talk about division. Let's check the example first. So 0, 0, 4. So for the decimal division, we should use long division, okay? So we put it into this form. So first step, we should change our divisor to be a whole number. So here it's 0.04, right? But we should switch this decimal into a whole number, which means we should switch 0.04 to 4. So we do this. We move our decimal point to right twice, right? So we change 0.04 to 4. If we do this action change, move the decimal point to right twice, so we should do the same thing to this one. So we should change this one twice, so we make sure the new number will be 946. After that, we just do the long division. The same thing as the whole number, right? So it will be 8, 14, 33. So make sure our new decimal point is this position. So we should add the decimal point in our answer. And it's 20, sorry. It will be 6, 24. 2, then we add a 0 to get. Okay, now we're done. But don't forget, you also need to put the decimal place in your decimal point in your answer. Okay, so that's your final answer. Let's try another one. So we write it into the long division. So first, we change our divisor to a whole number. So that will be 7. Change 0.007 to 7. So we actually move our decimal point 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So we need to do the same thing, right? 1, 2, 3. So this will be our decimal point. Now we do the remaining part. Just like the divisions with whole number. So, of course, this is no longer there. We can add the 2 0 here. So, our answer is a whole number, right? So, this is our final answer.